final score, 6-3 for your Winnipeg Jets. Fans, it's time for tonight's Subway 3-star selection. Tonight's third star, the captain of your Winnipeg Jets, number 26, Blake Wheeler. Tonight's second star from your Winnipeg Jets, number 55, Mark Scheifele. Tonight's first star with 3 points, including tonight's game-winning goal from your Winnipeg Jets, number 27, Nikolai Ehlers.
Tonight's 50-50 total is $29,155. To help us out with the draw, we have Goody Grace, who was at his first Jets game. What did you think?
It was amazing, man. I think it was a good first game to be at.
All right, we are going to give away that money. We got the numbers spinning. You're choosing our winner in 3, 2, 1, go! And tonight's winning number is 257-694-3010. If you had that winning ticket, congratulations. Take it to the guest services booth to have that number verified. And thank you for supporting the True North Youth Foundation.
A heck of a way to close out a 6-game homestand. Jets gets goals from Jansen Harkins, Mason Appleton, 2 of them from Blake Wheeler, Nikolai Ehlers, and Patrick Laine in a 6-3 victory over top of the Los Angeles Kings. I can tell you now the Nashville Predators, who were tied with the Winnipeg Jets with 65 points coming into the night, they're losing 4-1 in Nashville right now to the Carolina Hurricanes. So if that stays the way it is, the Jets move into that kind of last slot in the wild card race, right behind the. My brain is farting all over the place right now, but the Arizona Coyotes, 1 point behind them for the final wildcard spot in the Western Conference. It's Jordy Douglas. I'm Jamie Thomas. This is indeed the JetsTV Live post-game show presented by Budweiser. When they win, that's what we do. Yeah. Also on top of that, JetsRewards.ca. Go there right now. Type in the code word tonight, which is tripping. Tripping is your word. 50 Jets reward points just for you. Let's get to the highlights. Nikolai Ehlers is going to be joining us here momentarily, but Jordy and I are going to go on a long cruise through the final game of this 6-game homestand. The Winnipeg Jets giving up the first goal of the game. It is from the Los Angeles Kings. It is Dustin Brown, a juicy rebound in front of Connor Hellebuck. No help for the Jets goaltender. 1-0 Los Angeles.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, Jamie. There's no help. They're kind of chasing that puck. There's a healthy rebound. You got to get on that puck to help your goaltender. Didn't get there. Morrissey didn't get there, and it's a tap in over the shoulder, and it looked like a rough start for the Jets tonight.
It was 1-0 after the first period. Jets do get on the board. It is the third line, the 2015 line. Look at the speed coming across the line. Patrick Laine over to Jansen Harkins. Harkins with the goal. Jets tied up with 6:47 to go in the first.
And look how the defense have to go over the line. They have to get over as far as possible because he can shoot from anywhere. You don't want him shooting. He lays out a really, really nice pass. That's a great tap in, so to speak. One timer. Good goal.
3-minute mark of the second period. Again, speed from the Jets. Nice drop pass back to Mason Appleton. And the line of 2015 kicks in another one. It's 2-1 Winnipeg.
Well, that's actually a great drop pass. Roslovic does a little bit of a fake shot, so to speak. That drops the goaltender. As soon as he does that, now that pass is available. It's a beautiful drop pass. Much better shooting angle, and it ends up in the net.
Paul Maurice trying to downplay the effectiveness of this line the last game. Now I'm curious to see how he answers this one. Jets make it 3-1. Beautiful play here from Nikolai Ehlers. There's Mark Scheifele to old friend Blake Wheeler playing in game number 700 with the Jets franchise.
And again, two things happen. Lots of speed through the neutral zone. Here they come. Scheifele's on his horse, so to speak. And he looks to shoot. He's in a shooting position. Lays out a very nice pass reminiscent of the last goal, and it's in the net.
A nice pass from Mark Scheifele. Blake Wheeler, there was a line change. We'll talk about that. About 6 minutes left in the second period. Worked out for the team. Third period, Kings pull within one. In that third period, Adrian Kempe's shot goes wide. Martin Ferk is there. Perfect timing. The wraparound works for the Kings forward. And the Kings, they are not going away, even though they are last place in the Western Conference.
And this whole sequence starts, it's long before that. The Jets had a tough time. They were chasing the puck in their end. And that when you start chasing that puck, it's not good, and good things aren't going to happen. Didn't happen there, and that was an easy empty netter from the back of the net.
Very nice bounce for the Kings in that situation. Jets will restore their lead. Nice stick from Mark Scheifele, and then he and Ehlers are off to the races. Ehlers takes the pass from Scheifele, puts it in the net. Jets up 4-2.
And again, coming through the neutral zone, they've got speed and they get space. They
kind
create
of the
some
theme
space.
Of the night, George.
Absolutely. Once they got going, late in the second period, when this starts to pick up for the Jets, but once they create that space, and Ehlers, these guys, they know where to put that puck. They get a goaltender moving. Watch, he's sliding across. That's going to create some opportunity, and top shelf, it's in the net.
Unbelievable placement of that shot from Nikolai Ehlers. Again, the Kings not going away. A shot from the point. Dustin Brown with the nifty tip in front of the net. Jets thought it was a high stick. The referees did not think so. Neither did the National Hockey League. Jets, I believe, did not challenge this one. So it's 4-3. Kings cutting into that lead.
Yeah, and that's just traffic in front of the net, and that's where Brown likes to be, and he's got a shot at it.
Empty net for the Jets. It's an easy one. Good head-up position or play there from Kyle Connor. He spots a wide open Patrick Laine. He makes it. And then with a goaltender still in the net, the puck goes back to the point. Neil Pionk with a shot. There is Blake Wheeler with the tip, his second of the night in his 700th game with the NHL Jets franchise. Nikolai Ehlers coming in to the building or into the studio as he's already in the building and has been all night, obviously. Nikolai, slow start to this hockey game, but what did you think of your team's effort after the first period?
I think it was great. Even in the first period, I think we had some pretty good chances. But we knew it wasn't going to come easy. So we stuck with it, kept working, and when we got our chances, we were able to score on them. So we felt good about that.
So speak about that. Late in the second period, Paul Maurice decides to mix the lines back. You end up with Scheifele and Wheeler, and it looks like you go from second gear to fourth gear. You guys all of a sudden pick up the pace. What ends up happening when that happens to you guys?
It's not the first time that Paul has shuffled around a little bit. I think you try. I think he tries to get some new energy kind of into the two lines, and it worked. So we've played together for so long. We all know how to play with each other. So it's not hard to switch around during a game. and we were able to figure it out pretty quickly. So that obviously feels good.
Yeah. Fourth straight season, Nick, with at least 21 goals. Was it a goal of yours at the beginning part of this year to get to at least 20 and then think about 30 a little bit later?
No. You know, people ask me that question every single year.
Yeah.
I don't set myself goals point wise. I'm just gonna get disappointed.
You've never been a guy that would to look for stuff like that, I imagine, right?
No, I mean, of course, you wanna score as many goals as possible. You wanna contribute as much as you can. But you know, I've always thought that you go out, you set yourself goals, or for 90, 100 points, you gotta get it going. So I set goals in all the small details of the game, and I think during these 5 years, I've been able to get better and better every single year, and I feel good. So I'm happy with where I'm at, but there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. 6-game homestand, the longest of the season. Do you feel like you guys accomplished what you wanted to do to make this place a tough place to play over the 6 games here at Bell MTS Place?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've had our ups and downs in these 6 games, no doubt about that. But in each of those 6 games, we have worked our asses off for full 60 minutes every single game, even when we were down. At this point, we're fighting for a playoff spot here. There's no giving up, no matter how much you're down, and you can see that in the guys.
I know you got to get back in the room because we're not the only people looking for you tonight. You have a 3-point night. That's just the way it goes. Congratulations on a big night for you, Nick.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Nikolai Ehlers of the Winnipeg Jets, 6-3 victors over top the Los Angeles Kings. We will go into the Jets dressing room. Appreciate him taking the time. It's just great when those things work out, when you impress somebody and he has a big night. Offensively.
Well, and not only that, I mean, one of the things he hinted at was how they're starting to trend as a team.
Yeah.
And that's so important this time of year. They're starting to get more confidence. They're starting to play slow start, but nevertheless, they know and they're finding ways to win these games.
They come in. They've been in and out of the city of Winnipeg throughout the year. Actually, you know what? We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Blake Wheeler also had a big night. 700th game with the franchise. 2 goals and 1 assist. Let's go inside the dressing room and hear from the captain.
That you may not have liked. What was the mindset going into the second that turned it around?
Just don't get frustrated. We know that these guys play a really structured, stingy defensive game, and the more we get frustrated, the more we play into that game, and the less effective we'll be. So, just try to keep straight lines, try to get pucks to the net, make them turn, and I think we started getting on the body a little bit. And we were able to come up with some loose pucks.
You and Mark showed some chemistry. It's been around for a long time. How nice was it to get back together again and produce?
Yeah, I mean it's there. I think that there's not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, I love playing with Scheif, and I think the feeling's mutual, and it's like riding a bike.
Mm-hmm. That's something you'd love to see continue, then, I guess.
Of course. I mean, selfishly, that's you want to play with the guys that bring out the best in you, and vice versa. And with the circumstances of the season, you just, we don't really have that luxury. It's just about filling in and doing the best you can, and trying to plug in any holes that might come up. So, obviously, it's going to be Paul's decision going forward, but I think we made a pretty good case tonight.
Your coach talked about the circumstances and how when Brian went down, you texted him and asked him if he needed you to go to the middle. He's talked about the extra responsibility that comes with that. Is there something freeing at all about getting to move back into that spot, not just with Mark, but back onto your wing?
I think I've been able to be, somewhat productive as a center iceman, and the goal wasn't, how many points could I get and how could I play the best hockey of my career. Is more just, how can we make this thing work and get the most out of our lineup and try to win some hockey games. And that was the thought all along. Obviously, in the back of my head, I know where I rank in terms of right wingers in this world, and I like being on the wall. Playing with a center iceman like Mark makes me a better hockey player. But like I said, it's not it's not about me. It's not about making me happy. It's about trying to piece together as many wins as we can, and by doing that, we've stayed in the fight.
What was your reaction to the trade today?
Exciting. I think we just got to get a look at him a few games ago, and he's an NHL defenseman, a guy that is going to help solidify our back end and give us another able body. We've got a collection of guys that are really capable back there to get the job done. They've done a heck of a job so far this year, and he's going to add to that mix and just make us more formidable.
This game to finish it off with a big 2 points.
I think we responded well. When they got some momentum or got a chance or scored a goal, we replied appropriately, and it was a good team win tonight.
From a teammate standpoint, what do you see from that Roslovic, Appleton, Harkins unit, and why they're having success here in the last couple of games since they've been put together?
They're just they're supporting each other all over the ice. They're all quick players. They all can move. They all can make plays, but they're doing the simple things. They're supporting each other all over the ice, and that's what's causing their success.
How dangerous can Nikolai Ehlers be when he's skating like he was tonight, Mark?
Yeah, he was great tonight. He made a lot of great plays. He was, he was on his game, and when we have him playing like that, it's he's a tough player to stop.
What was it like to be back with Blake? I know he got a taste of it the other night, but to be as productive as you guys were getting back together today.
It was awesome. Obviously you guys know I love playing with Blake, and it was great to see some some productivity, and it ended up on the score sheet. So we did a lot of good things tonight, and it was awesome being back with him.
What was your reaction today? Dylan said you guys played against each other a little bit growing up. What's it like to bring him into the fold?
Yeah, I played against him. All minor hockey, probably from when I was 7 till I was 16. Obviously he's a very special defenseman, and he was growing up he was always the best defenseman in our league. So it'll be cool to reminisce about some probably memories that both of us don't remember too much.
The guy watches other guys closely. What's the scouting report on him for those who haven't seen him as often?
He's solid. He moves well. He's always in the right spot. A reliable defensive player, and makes he's a good first pass guy. So we're excited to meet him in Ottawa, and he'll be welcome with open arms.
Mark, just a thought on the 6-game homestand to go 4-2 to get yourselves back to within a point again of a wild card. Just what did that game mean for your group again here today to head on the road with the right mindset?
Yeah, it was big. It was a big game for us tonight. It was a good homestand. It was good to get some wins at home, and now we just gotta keep this going on the road.
All right, there's Mark Scheifele, and you heard from Blake Wheeler as well. 2 happy campers about being back together. And when you have so much success together, Jordy, and you get to come back together again, the gang's all back. What does that mean for your psyche, I guess, in some ways, when things go well, when you get back together?
Yeah. Well, folks, late in the second period, when we see them get back together, they literally pick up the pace. And when they picked up the pace, the team picked up the pace. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, speed became, their asset again. And even though they got a lot of points, all the other lines were following suit. So they set a precedent out there with their speed. Everybody, follows their lead. But more importantly, they have fun doing it. And that's when you're having fun, it's so much easier to play the game. And you could see that the longer that third period was going, the more fun they were having.
Yeah, usually Blake has his game face on, but you could see a cracking a little bit of a smile when asked about being back with Mark Scheifele. And when you have a player that can put the puck on your stick like this on an odd man rush, it's easy to see why you got the smiles.
Well, and Nick just said it when he joined us here. Look, we've done this. We played before. We like playing with each other. To me, they're understating how important the three of them work together. Mm-hmm. They all can skate. Nick gives them extra speed, but they all have great hands, and they move that puck forward. The more they move that puck through the neutral zone, the quicker they have to go. And when they do that, Los Angeles didn't have a chance. Teams can't skate with the Jets when they put it on them like they did there. I didn't think they were doing that in the first period as much, and even early in the second. But once they got their wheels going, LA, there's going to be a lot of teams that aren't going to be able to skate with the Jets when they skate like that.
No question about that. Of course, the Jets acquiring a new defenseman today, Dylan DeMello from the Ottawa Senators, in place for a third-round draft pick in the 2020 NHL draft. Draft picks are valuable,
Sure.
but defensemen are even more valuable, Jordy, especially NHL defensemen.
Yeah, and look, we talk about man games lost, and how the Jets just started this season. I mean, I'm beating the drum that everybody's already beaten, but the Jets have, had their challenges on the back end, just staying healthy, and at times just putting a formidable defense together. The guys have been outstanding back there. I really commend their speed of how they've picked up their games and how they've played. But another body back there, another healthy body that comes as, quote unquote, as an NHL defenseman is invaluable this time of year.
Not to beat a drum, but we've only beaten this drum the last 2 games. But the Jansen, Harkins, Mason, Appleton, Jack Roslovic line, how much pressure does that take off the first 2 lines if those 2 or that trio continues to produce?
I talk to friends about third and fourth lines all the time, something I'm familiar with later in my career. But, who remembers the GST line here in Winnipeg and what they brought to the team, but more importantly, what allowed the other lines ahead of them to do. And that's what a really solid lineup does. Everybody complements each other. This line right now, and it's early, they seem to get along well.
Man, can they skate though.
But they can, and they're smart. Everybody at this level can play the game. They're clicking right now, and they're getting their chances. And Harkins, he's got great hands around. They all do. And you know what? It's exciting for them because the coach then gives them minutes because they've earned the opportunity to play. You give them minutes, that gives other guys an opportunity to get fresher. When they get fresher, they can pick the pace up. And I'm referring to Scheifele, Wheeler, and Ehlers, for an example. So a third line and a fourth line are very, very, very valuable. If they can get these 3 guys to stay on that pace, be consistent, and have fun doing it, it's going to help a ton.
All right, with his thoughts on tonight's game, it is the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets, Paul Maurice, in the Matt Frost Media Center.
Paul, down after 1, how do you feel your team played as the game went on?
Yeah, so considerably better. There are a bunch of things I wouldn't say necessarily wrong with our first, but we didn't look very good with the puck. Like, we had a lot of things that our hands looked slow, but I think the driver was the feet. And then, they're missing a couple of guys out of their day, but they just came off wins. They beat Calgary, they beat Colorado. You're going to get their best early, and there's still 5 or 6 guys there with a bunch of Stanley Cup rings. So they played well in the first. We didn't do enough to get going, and then we did. Our forecheck got better, just our general speed of everything that we did, and we were able to start choking some pucks off in the neutral zone, which kind of led to the first goal. Right, we get a quick up and a nice play, Roslovic over to Patty and to Hark, and then we were just quite a bit faster after with all the things that we did.
And that line again gets you going offensively.
They did, and they. I still think there was a bunch more that was right. They were near some offense too, right? They made some really good plays, but fast. They're not fooling around with it through the neutral zone. They're not trying to weave any magic there. If they get a play like they did on the second, really, really nice drop pass by Roslovic, but it was done at speed, and that's why all the things they're doing at speed. So they're very effective, and it got to the point that I had them playing against Carter partway through the game, and that was more of a statement of how well they were playing.
Blake thought he and Mark made a pretty good argument to be played together.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're watching that backdoor goal thinking, man, I haven't seen that in a while. That felt good. They certainly made a strong argument today. It's something that you like. You've seen it work so well, but we've had our challenges with pieces of lines. It would be one of the reasons why you would strongly consider it is the play of the Roslovic line, right? That you can kind of maybe. There's no reason why Cal Connor, who going into the game is our leading scorer with Patty and Andrew Kopp, who's arguably our best defensive forward, can't be very, very strong as a line. So be a good bet, I think, if you're putting on leaving it, starting like that.
I know it wasn't your most important goal tonight, but off that Pionk shot from the point, you've been getting some pretty consistent offense from the point. What does that open up for your team when you're able to get that kind of consistency off?
Yeah, so we had a bunch of those in the second, right? We started getting the puck, but it all comes, how much chaos have you created before it goes from low to high out to your blue line? If you haven't created anything, they're going to come out in the shot lanes and you won't get anything to the net. The forwards now moving a little quicker, draw that team down, but a defenseman's not beating a goalie clean from the blue line if the goalie can see it. It's just the percentage of that is so low. It all goes to traffic and net front to have somebody shot tip there. It's the same way that they scored their goal to get within one. But there has to be something has to happen in the offensive zone that allows those defensemen to find that shooting lane. So it's the D are getting the shots off because the forwards are driving it, and they're also getting some traffic now.
I know for a while it maybe looked like that third line was being driven by Andrew Kopp, and it probably was, but since Jack Rozovic moved from that second line down to the third, it's been a pretty big offensive force. So how much of that is driven by him?
Well, a big part of it. What he's doing through the neutral zone now is really improved, right? Don't never introduce the negative. He's been really good through the neutral zone with the puck, just driving in straight lines. He's a powerful skater. He's got good hands. He's not slowing down to try to make another play that gets knocked down. But you know what else? I mean, he blocks the shot, right, on the goal that he drives up the ice. So their D zone coverage has been really good. I mean, their whole game is good right now. They're scoring goals, so we're certainly excited about it. But they're playing at a different level. I think three guys. They're not deferring to each other. They're not playing with a veteran guy where they feel they got to get him the puck. They're just playing that game of hockey as fast as they can, and lots of good things are coming from it.
Paul, where can Dylan DeMello help you the most, and where do you see him fitting in?
Well, and our guys playing the offside have done a really, real good job for us this year. But a right-handed shot makes your transition better. What he's good at is all parts of the game, without being able to identify him as this is the strongest thing that he does. So that in itself, the all-around game, he can move the puck well, he'll get to it first. It's not the same player, but it's a version of what Neil does so well. He'll go back and touch it first, he moves the puck well. He doesn't have a hard time finding his man in the D zone. He sorts that out real good. He's got a real good stick on him. So he's just a real good all-around defenseman.
You know someone pretty well who coached him. Did you get a scouting report at all?
Yeah, exactly. Mostly the hockey part was simple. He said he's a real effective player, and that's I think the right descriptive word. But more importantly, he said that this guy's salt of the earth. He's just a good man that's had to nothing given to him. That he's worked really, really hard to get to the National Hockey League.
So just going back, do you see him fitting with Josh or Dimitri?
No. We'll talk. We'll work on it for a day.
Paul, I wanted to go to the neutral zone where I thought maybe the flow of play changed, and whether it was the third line again trapping pucks off or other lines moving the puck up and beating the 1-3-1. What worked well and what didn't with the neutral zone?
Well, the neutral zone wasn't our starting point, so they're running a 1-3-1, and they're really good at it now. It was a new system for them this year. It takes a little while to develop it, and they're very, very good at it now. So if you're dragging the puck and that's the starting point, it's hard to get through. But when the puck comes from their end to the neutral zone, it's a lot harder to get into. All neutral zone systems are harder to get into when the puck comes from their end, and so the first goal. We don't go D to D. We don't drag it back. We're not rolling around on them. The thing goes north before they can get into it, and it's in the back of the net. So what we did well is we countered off pucks that came from the offensive zone. So I'd almost say our forecheck got better. The forecheck gets better. You're looking at a different kind of puck in the neutral zone. You've got them trying to recover to their neutral zone, and we move it quicker. And then, like anybody's neutral zone, you score that first goal like that, they'll give you 2 more feet ice, and then all of a sudden you're getting through it with speed. That was confusing, but I understood it. So,
the question is, Jordy, did you understand what he was saying?
Turn the clock back 40 years when I played 30 years ago.
Yeah.
None of that was spoken at all. Yes, I did understand it, but folks, we're really blessed that there's a coach like Paul Maurice that's willing to share those things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys don't want to talk about strategies, let's say. He did an excellent job describing how they generate offense by playing defense and what they needed to do against LA to create those chances. And when they finally got doing it, and the LA ends up back 2 more feet, hence what we talked about, here comes the speed, something the Jets are really good at and they were able to take advantage of.
Okay, they win the final 2 games of this homestand. Before the second win of the final game of the homestand, they make a trade. They're meeting up with the new guy tomorrow, Dylan DeMello, in Ottawa. They play the Senators on Thursday. What kind of momentum does that carry into a game to have a new body in your lineup?
Well, it's great for the new player because you're not joining the team after a loss or a couple of losses. So that's the best part for a new player. And I speak from experience. You don't want to be going in the room after they've had a real tangle, if you will.
Yeah.
So the momentum is huge, and it sounds like he's a good man. He's a good player. He's going to fit in. I've always said this team doesn't make any deals unless they know the player fits in the room. So they know he fits. It's a matter of comfortability. I understand Scheifele knows him really well, so on and so forth. It's an easy transition.
Well, you always fit in here on the JetsTV Live postgame show, Jordy Douglas. So
Jamie,
with that, let's sign off. Jets win 6-3. They are 1 point out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. Their next game is Thursday against the Ottawa Senators. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.